What am I even doing with my life? I need to create something. Hey friends, it's Cammy. It's been a year since I started HRT, and I really wanted this to be like a big milestone where I sit here and tell you about all the changes that medical transition has done for me and so on, whatever, but I don't really have anything to tell you. Yes, it is a big milestone, but I don't really have any big changes to discuss. I usually format these videos with first I've had over the month, physical changes, emotional changes, and lifestyle changes. With the exception of body hair loss, which kicks in at about 1 year, I've gone about as far as hormones are going to take me. My body is pretty much done changing. This isn't a complaint. I'm generally really happy with everything, and we'll talk about those changes in a minute, but I don't have anything new to report. This is one of the reasons I didn't do an 11-month video. Other reasons are disassociation, chronic inability to discern the passage of time, and it was my birthday. I didn't create a single thing last month. I shot an entire video for the other channel and didn't get it edited or posted. My single Patreon supporter is probably very disappointed in me. I was strongly considering shutting down this whole channel and focusing on the other channel, but then I got DM'd on Insta. I always groan a little when I get a DM, especially on there, because it's almost always a chaser. But this was from a subscriber here who wanted to reach out and tell me that they really appreciate what I do. And that really warmed my heart. And then I signed into the channel for the first time in over a month, and I see I've gained nearly 100 subscribers while I was away, and a whole slew of comments that were very similar to that DM that I got. These things were all really nice to hear, and so here I am again, if for no other reason than to make sure some subscribers feel valid, which is why I started doing all this to begin with. At heart, I need to not hit the microphone. At heart, I'm an artist and I need to create, but being bipolar, that can get really difficult sometimes. Usually it happens in the winter, but sometimes spring messes with me a bit too, though I think that might be because I'm so relieved at the change that my brain kind of shuts down for a bit. Like it just has a hard time processing. Anyway, let's get to the heart of why you're here and talk about what has changed for me over the last year and how that's impacted my life. Since I don't have anything to report for incremental changes the way I have in my other videos, I'll refer you to those for that. I want to talk about the big picture changes that kind of get lost in a month-to-month update. So I started medically transitioning in February of 2020 by taking spironolactone. In May of 2020, I started on estradiol patches, and then in November, I added progesterone to the mix. Due to low levels of estradiol in my system, I started taking sublingual estradiol in March, in addition to the patches. And it has done the trick. I look like a female now, despite what transphobes on Reddit may say. Dumbasses, every one of them. I can gussy up and go out in public and feel good about myself. I can sit around at home in a tank top and yoga pants I just pulled out of the laundry basket because I'm really bad at putting my laundry away and feel good about myself. Let's take a look at that HRT timeline I use. For the visually impaired folks in the audience, the rows are fat redistribution, reduced muscle, softer skin, lower libido, reduced erections, breast growth, testicle shrinking, and body hair thinning. 12 months puts us right here. I'm at the end of major changes for most of the categories. Reduced erections came and went pretty early on. No pun intended. They don't come on spontaneously anymore, for the most part, but it still works when I want it to. And the orgasms, holy hell, y'all. Girl orgasms are amazing. I know people have tried to tell me, but I had no idea. Toe curling, full body shaking orgasms, best thing ever. Where was I? Right, lower libido. Clearly not a thing for me. Well, I have my girlfriend, and anyone who has seen her knows that she is a fucking knockout. I told her the other day that she looked like Korra, and she spun around and went,
I'm the Avatar! You gotta deal with it!
Tells you everything you need to know about her. Reduced muscles, absolutely been a thing, though not too bad. I have a hard time opening my beloved pickle jars sometimes, but it's nothing major. Softer skin, this one kicked in pretty early on and hasn't changed much since then. But y'all, girl skin is so much nicer than boy skin. Not to sound too creepy, but I'm a bit of a girl skin aficionado. I mean, what else do I need lips, tongue, and teeth for anyway? I'm really happy with the changes that have occurred over the last year. And now those are tapering off, and I'm okay with that. The other categories are fat redistribution and breast growth, which are kind of the same thing, and testicle shrinking. I'm well into and past the early stages, where most of the dramatic changes typically occur. So my hips might get a little curvier, and I might finally graduate to an A cup, but if I don't, that's okay too. Testicle shrinking just means tucking will be a little easier for me. HRT has changed my body quite a bit, and I am all about it. But it's more than just my body that's been changing. Medically transitioning right on the heels of starting to socially transition, which I talked about back in February, has led to this dramatic reversal of my bipolar depressions. I used to go into these doom spirals that would last for months. Now I get a little down for a while before I bounce back to life, which is really how it should be. I really can't overstate how much this has done for me, and I'm glad you're here with me, faithful friends. Don't look at the changes that I've gone through and get discouraged because you think you'll never have the same kind of a success. I mean, I looked like a scrub donkey boy before all of this. I refer you to my early videos for proof.
Hey everybody, Josh here.
I went through the advice, don't judge your beginning by someone else's middle, and that certainly applies here. You'll grow into the absolute legend you were born to be. No one has ever regretted coming out. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have a beach party video to edit.